Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 2 of Endless Legend. We got off to a reasonable start. We've got not a bad starting city location and I'm just basically learning the ropes for this game. As I said in the first video, this is a blind let's play. I have played the game through to maybe 20-30 turns previously in the past, but not since its full release. I've read through the manual, but that is about as much knowledge as I have of it, so I'm kind of learning as I go, although I've got a very rough idea of what I'm doing. So we've done all we can for this turn. Let us hit the button and move on to turn 8. And we are going to continue to explore around a little bit. We've found some more unspoiled ruins. We could certainly go and have a look at those. Let's search. And we have found nothing of interest at this location. Thanks very much, game, with your horrible dice rolls. And we found another earth tower down there as well. However, though, because we've done the searching with our hero has actually earned enough XP to level up. So let us go into, not the academy, I wanted inspect. So you could equip your heroes, which we will probably do later on because she already has some equipment. In fact, can we actually build any of these? And give her improved vision. That could be useful. We can give her improved movement. That could be useful. We can give her an improved bow. Flying Slayer. Is it worth actually upgrading her to give her improved movement? Improved movement could be very useful. But have we not got a slot we can put that into? Doesn't look like we have. That's very interesting. I have to look into that. Not too sure how the equipment works, or maybe we don't have the resources, but you can certainly give equipment to your leaders, but the main thing we want here is the skill tree. Each hero's skill tree is split into 3. They get something specific to their class, which in the case of Petrov Judit, it is ranged, so these are all specific to the ranged class. You also have a tree that is specific to your faction, which obviously is the Voltas, so these are all Voltas specific things. So as you can see, it starts off with something that gives you better science, but that's only if your hero is managing a city. And then you've got the common pool ones in the middle that give you various effects, like, again, improved searching on ruins. I think what we're going to go for, though, is the Agile Mover, which gives +1 movement on units. And you can actually get up to 2 levels in that, and that will affect the entire army that this hero is in charge of, which is a very useful thing. Let's get rid of the academy screen there. Do we have any movement left over? Yep, we have a little bit, so let's go and do the exploring there. We've also found some spiral rock peel here as well. Some very interesting anomalies around. Let's go into the next turn. Not an awful lot going on. We can do a little bit more exploring here. Is that another anomaly? It's Northern Loam. Walking through some of these anomalies do actually slow your movement down as well, so you do have to be careful to a certain degree. How close are we to the completion of this Dawn Officer? Close enough that we can spend a little bit of dust and rush it. And then I think what we're going to do is go on and build the seed storage, because that will allow us to get some food a little more quickly. Let's end the turn here. And we've now completed the research on Search Party, so let's go ahead and get something else queued up. So what do we have here that could be useful? Alchemist's Furnace, +1 something on city. I think that is titanium. Right, okay, allows us to build a titanium extractor and a glass steel extractor. That could be quite useful. Advanced Alloys unlocks tier 1s of weapons made with titanium or glass steel. Advanced Armor, which obviously does the same thing for armor. Mill Foundry gives us +6 production on the city and +15% production on the city. Mill Foundry could be very useful, actually. I think we'll queue that up, and then I think we will go for the Alchemist Furnace, because there is some glass steel around. Might be nice to be able to build that, so let's go ahead and do that. We're working on our seed storage, so that's fine. We'll dismiss that. We'll close the research screen, and we will... Do we have this unit? Yes, we do. We want to make that into an army. and he is going to move down here and join up with our hero. We'll put them together on the same spot. That will automatically merge them together. Now, you will notice in the city that you do have 2 militia units. These militia units are defensive units for your city. They automatically regenerate. They have cavalry slayer. They can be upgraded, but you can't actually take them out of the city. You can't use them as offensive units, so they're going to stay there for now. The seed storage is only going to take 5 turns, so I think I'm going to move the population back over on this side just to speed up the growth. It will slow down the seed storage construction a little bit, but in 3 turns we'll have another population and that will sort that out. Now, one thing you will notice here is you don't actually have tax in this game, which is something very different to Endless Space, because you were constantly having to mess around and deal with tax there. But we don't have to do it this time around. Now, do we have enough time units to go in on this turn? Yes, we do. So we're actually going to attack. Now, apparently we do have a very good chance of winning. Now, we can actually call in our militia as reinforcements because they are in the region. So they won't arrive straight the way, but we can use them and we will. We're going to go in on the offensive. We're not going to hold position or be defensive. Bear in mind that a lot of our units are actually ranged, apart from the Dawn Officer and the militia. Our Marines and our hero are both ranged. We're not going to auto-resolve it. We're not going to spectate. We're going to go in manually, so ready to fight. So as you can see, it's actually using the land as it is set out. Some of our units are there in the city now. We don't really want to be on the low ground because we want to use the height to our advantage. Obviously, the Centaurs have done something similar as well. What we want to do is we want to take our Dawn Officers, and our Dawn Officers we want to put right up in front of these guys to deal with them there. We also want to take our ranged units and keep our ranged units up on the high ground as much as possible. Now, we can only move to these blue hexes here, so we do have to be careful to a certain degree. So I'm actually going to move my hero up into the city, because the heroes do tend to have a little bit more in the way of hit points. Now, when the reinforcements come in, reinforcements always come in from the reinforcement flag. So this is where our militia will come in on the following turn. So we are going to hit the ready up button and say that we're ready to go. What we'd like to do is, we're going to have our Dawn Guard and our hero targeting these guys at the front, and our ranged units targeting these guys at the back. You can see here that we've got our militia coming in. We're going to start to move them around. It's a little bit difficult for these guys to get into position, of course, because they start on the low ground, but we are going to move them in. So let us launch. Now, there is an initiative score. The Centaurs do get to go first, unfortunately. I mean, you know, they're cavalry units, so they get quite a lot of initiative score. They are attacking our hero, which is a real pain, and I prefer they didn't do that. But they've taken almost as much damage back as they gave out. Looks like they're coming around now to try and deal with some of my other units, but they've got the problem of terrain penalty now. The other problem, of course, is now my Dawn Guard are having to move to kind of catch up with them. So my Marines, my archers, get to have a bit of a pop at these units. And at least my militia now can actually move in. They've got a potential chance to attack these guys because they've moved down. Again, they didn't take as much damage as I would have liked. The militia are moving in. So we are at a point where we can continue. I think what we're going to do is get these guys to fire over here. If we do take out one of their units, they will change their target, and everyone else is going to fight these guys. So let's hit launch again. So all of the combat is pretty much done automatically at this point. Okay, these guys are coming around the back to try and attack my Marines, which is very bad because obviously they're ranged. Although they've done quite a little bit of damage. I think that might block these guys from... Oh no, they have managed to get through. Will they still have enough to attack? Yes, they do. So that's a little bit of a pain. But you can already see here the AI is using the terrain very much to their advantage. And my melee units are just running around all over the place, trying to get close enough to do some damage. At least my Dawn's Guard actually get to have a bit of a go there. And of course the Centaurs do have the higher ground at this point, which is advantageous for them. But we do get to fire some shots in from our ranged units. And this should hopefully be the end of these Centaurs. Unless we're very, very unlucky. Okay, so all of our units are basically going to be attacking the Centaur. The Centaur does get to attack us once more because he's first on the initiative queue. It is possible he could kill these Marines, but he doesn't quite... No, doesn't quite have enough damage to take them out. I don't think... Did he? Yes, he did actually. He's killed my Marines. Which... Oh no, there was one survivor. One solitary Marine there with hardly any health at all. But the plus side is we have now wiped them out. You have 3 hit points out of your 75, but it was a win. That is fantastic. So, really good stuff. We have now taken over this village. This village has been destroyed and will provide its benefits to the Empire controlling the region once it is rebuilt. So, we will need to get that rebuilt. Not too sure how we do that at this point. I'm sure that's something we will find out. So, what we're going to do now is it's ready to be assimilated into my Empire. Now, in order to assimilate a faction into your empire, it needs to be pacified. It needs to be in a region where you have a city, which it is. And it actually costs a certain number of influence points to do it. Now, at the moment, we only have 14 influence points, and we need 30 in order to be able to do this. Now, you do get... there is a limit to the number of these minor factions that you can assimilate, but you do get certain bonuses and benefits from them. So, first of all, if we assimilate the boss into our... faction, we will be able to produce Centaur Cavalry, so we get ourselves a new unit. We will also get plus 5% food per pacified boss village on cities. So if we only have one of their villages, which we do at the moment, we'll get plus 5 food bonus. So we just need to save up enough influence points to be able to do that. So let's get out of there. Now, other things that influence points are used for. First of all is the Empire Plan. Now, this is basically, it will give you certain bonuses towards the sort of 4 different techs. There is a turn limit, how long it takes before you can do any of this. And it goes up in costs of 20. So to go up to the first level here of science and industry would cost me 20 influence points. So they just give you different benefits towards different things. We can't do that at the moment. But another thing that these influence points are also used for is in diplomacy. Because what you can do is you can go to a faction and you can actually go in and give them compliments, give them warnings, you can close borders, you can declare war, and all these kind of things. All of these things cost influence points in order to do so. So you do really need to save these influence points up and be careful where you use them because they're actually used for a number of things. So what we're going to do, research has led to a new discovery, search party, mill, foundry, okay, everything's queued up. We know about that. So let us end the turn. Allow things to continue as they go through. What's going on here at the city? How is growth? We are still 2 turns away from a new population. There's nothing more that we can really do at the moment. We could go ahead and rush by that seed storage, but I don't think we need to, so I'm not going to do that right now. Another turn has passed. We are now 1 turn away from being able to complete that. Well, guess what I could do is actually use these guys to go and do a little bit more exploring. Of course, we don't want to get too far away from our home, and we might need to go and get rid of that other village, which we will probably do. We found another minor faction, the Nidia. If we actually manage to take over them, we get a flying unit, which is very nice. And they get plus 5% initiative per pacified Nidia village on units. So basically, in a battle, the more initiative you have, the more likely it is that your units will get to go first. But we're just passing through. We're just having a scout, having a bit of a look. Got some weaver worms down there. Got a bit of an anomaly. I might go up here and try and deal with these guys, though. Even though they're not actually in my region, we will need to get another settler up at some point and settle another city. So it is definitely something worth considering. So let's keep moving up here. I think we'll have a bit of a look out in this direction actually and see what we can find. There's some glass steel right there. What has happened here? The population of the city has changed. That is fantastic. So what we're going to do now is going to go back to our main city, which is called Avrama, and is in the region of... What's this region called? Usually tells me the region name when I'm in a region. Can't remember where that is. Where are we? Avrama. What region are you in? Doesn't tell me. I'm sure there used to be a way that used to tell you the region names. Maybe our city is the region name. That's probably what it is then. So this is Avrama. Another nice thing with the map, you can zoom out. You get this very nice sort of 2D map that lets you see all the different regions, which is really, really nice. So let us zoom back in here. So what just happened? Our city grew. That was it. So 8 turns before we grow again, but I think what I might do is put one of our population into industry, just so things will produce a little bit faster. That'll help with the seed storage, which in turn will help with the growth of the city anyway. So we're going to select you. We're going to continue to move you around the map. We've researched the mill foundry and now working on the alchemist's furnace. All good stuff. And as you can see, we don't actually know what height the terrain is until we've explored it. So as we move around, the terrain levels do change. Found some temple ruins there, so we might go and have a look at them and see if we can find anything within them. Let's go ahead and search. And we found 30 dust, which is quite nice. And then we'll probably head off up to the north on the next turn, loop around the back over there. New Empire plan will be unlocked in 6 turns. Now, I'm not sure if we're actually going to have enough points to spend there if we want to incorporate that village, which we really do want to do. So we're going to have to be careful there. And what have we got here? Steel stalks. Now, one thing you will find in this game is that various different terrain does have penalties to your movement. So we found these guys, the Hurnas. They look like they are orcs, so we get archers from them. We get 5% attack per pacified Hurnas village on units. They're over there, so not too much of a problem to us at the moment. And we're going to continue to work around in this direction. What is this we found? Seratan. Expansion, minor village. So, have we found these guys before? Not sure if we have. Have a look at those later on, but let's just go in on to the next turn, see what we can do. There we go, we've now encountered a new minor faction. And they get plus 5% defense, and they get a Drider, which is a support unit. Has the capacities Cocoon, Low Damage, and Sweep Strike. It's a shame that you can't actually mouse over those abilities and see exactly what they do, which is a little bit of a shame. Don't think we're going to be going in there and attacking them, but although I can't actually get directly around because of the cliff, so I'm going to have to take a bit of a long-winded route. Although we have actually found some more ruins, and it looks like we've found somebody else's borders as well. So we're going to run over here and nab these 2 ruins as quick as we can. We've now completed the seed storage, so we're going to go ahead into our empire and look at what we can build. So we could build the mill foundry. That would give us a lot of extra production, which would be a really nice thing to have. And we've got the boss expansion, because we do need to rebuild their village. That will take 9 turns. Let's get the mill foundry done first, because that is going to overall give us a production bonus, and that will help to then build the boss village up somewhat. We know about that faction. We've just queued that up. Do you have any movement left at all? No, you've used all of your movement, so we're going to end the turn there. So we're going to grab these ruins, come back and grab those ruins, and then head back to our own territory if we can. So you're going to move over here. So this is the orange player. We don't know who this is at this point. But we're going to search these ruins. And we've actually found a quest. Obviously, and sadly, the people who lived here ages ago were more educated than yours. In the dust-covered ruins of this technological empire, your scientists begin to find new ideas and inspirations. Perhaps you might even one day surpass those ancients. So the objective is to produce 40 science in one of our cities for 10 turns. Well, it's quite possible. We get 20 influence for doing it as well. So let's have a look at that. Produce 40 science in one of our cities for 10 turns. I don't know if they have to be consecutive turns, but it would certainly be nice if we were able to do that. We've got these wizard stones over here as well. They're quite interesting. Can we actually get to that? Yes, we can. Let us search. Your search location was worth the effort. We actually get 10 emeralds from doing that. Quite nice. And we've still got some time used to move around. And we've got some more temple ruins, though they are in somebody else's territory. So I don't think we can actually enter into there, but we will have a little look. So let's go back to our main city, and let us just see if we can indeed... what's this we've got here? A botanical garden. I hadn't even noticed that before. Let us go in here and see if it's possible to get anywhere near that amount of science. Was it 40 science? See, 40 science, we're making 27. Even if we put population in there, we would only be... We could put all 3 of our population in there and get it. We wouldn't starve, but we would get slow growth. But it'd be really, really nice to have that. Let's get... let's use the dust to speed up that mill foundry, because that's really going to help us out there. We'll end the turn. And we've completed research on the alchemist's furnace, so we still need one more technology before we can move into the second era. Doesn't mean to say that we have to stop researching things in the first era once we hit the second era. So what do we need around here? Sewer system would give us some happiness, and it would also give us one additional influence on being happy, which would be quite nice. So we should probably research that. I think that is going to be useful. We've completed the mill foundry, so the next thing in our construction queue should then be... Yeah, thank you. We want to go ahead and... We could do the Empire Mint. We could get the public library. That could be useful, because that would actually give us an additional 10 science. So only going to be 4 turns to build. We've got enough dust to get that on the next turn. So that's what we're actually going to do. So what I'm going to do there is end the turn. And I've just realised again I've forgotten to move that unit, which is a bit of a pain. These things are spawning units. This could be a fight. They could come after me, and indeed they are. Unfortunately for them, though, they seem to be in a bit of a disposition. We've still got this very injured marine, but I don't want to run away, so we are actually going to go in and fight. Now, it says they're support units, so I don't know how good they're going to be. They may potentially have reinforcements as well. So we do seem to have the majority of the high ground. We're going to take our... Dawn officers and put them at the front, and we are actually going to put our hero here and keep these guys who are injured as far back as possible. Put them right at the very back. So let's ready up. That seems like a good enough attack strategy at the moment. You guys can just stay there. So let's launch the attack. We do get the initiative on these guys, though, so we get to go first here in almost all matters. We've got some nice bonuses to our attack there. So when you see all these little things like the swords with an up arrow or things with a down arrow, it's just showing you what your bonuses and penalties are. Like being in the woods, I'm not sure what all the bonuses and penalties mean. I haven't learned them all yet, but I'm sure I will. So they're doing a bit of damage to us. In fact, annoyingly, he's gone right for the unit that was really weak, and I think he's actually killed it completely. Which is not a very good thing. So everyone else is going to target this guy, because he's working his way round. Oh no, you are still alive, just about. We're still going to get the Dawn officers to go for that one. They might get the kill on this one, because they did do a lot of damage last time. Unfortunately, they don't get the kill, but hopefully we're going to take this one out before it gets around there and kills that heavily wounded marine. That was a really big hit. That was really good for us. I'm not sure how well this marine's going to do, as it's already half dead. 34 damage. We do actually kill that one. Now, that one didn't get to do anything on this turn, so let's just go ahead and get everyone to go in and attack it this time around. And it is dead. Okay, so at least we won the battle. We have taken a little bit more damage, which we didn't really want to do, but at least we don't have everybody dead. So that's that done. Fantastic. Now, as I said before, I don't believe that I can move into somebody else's territory. Oh, apparently I can, though. Let's search that. And it looks like we've got ourselves a quest here, and I can see a unit moving into attack. That's going to be a real pain, possibly. New quest added, the second mouse. You were following indications drawn from local legends that spoke of loot and treasure in heavily guarded ruins. It seems, however, that someone else has beaten you to the booty. One of the armies roaming in Marianne has the treasure that you seek. Find the army, defeat it, and the booty is yours. Is it going to be this guy? Because that is a roaming army. And it looks quite nasty. It's a rumbler. Has 168 life. 168 life is a lot of life. And these guys are actually taking some pretty heavy damage at this point. I'd like them to be able to heal up. Going to try and move them back towards my own territory as much as possible. Nobody says we have to do all these quests as soon as we can. However, our hero does get another level up. So we could go for an additional movement. We could go for additional vision. I think we're actually going to go for the additional movement. It's certainly going to help us to escape any encounters should we need to. The construction has been completed on the public library. What we're going to do now is, I think, we're going to go ahead and rebuild the boss village there. Now, if we actually look over here, we're now producing 60 science. So we can safely move, not all of the population, one will do. We can move one population into food. We can move the other population into production. In fact, we could move everybody out of science and we're still producing 43 science per turn. And that gives us a lot of production as well. Although, yeah, even with 2 people in food, it's still going to be 2 turns until we grow. So let's keep the 2 population in production for the time being. And let us end this turn. I'm almost certain that thing's going to come and try and attack us. I'm almost certain there's more than one of them stomping around that's going to come and try and attack us as well. We could go in and try and attack them, but they do seem to be very, very high health units. And I'm very worried that attacking them could mean me losing one of mine, which wouldn't be ideal, really. Can we find out anything else about them? So they've got a lot of defense, they do a lot of damage, they're quite slow, they've got bad initiative, they can stun. There's a potential that we could take them out, but it's very, very risky. But, you know, let's live dangerously, let us have a go. I mean, according to the auto-resolve, we've got sort of a 76-77% chance of winning, something like that. Does it tell us if we mouse over? No. But we are going to go ahead and do a manual fight. We'll do the best we can. Obviously, we want to have our melee units up front, and we want to have our weakest units at the back. Everything seems to be set up how I'd want it set up. Everything is attacking that unit, which makes most sense. So we get to go first with all of our units. Hopefully, we've got enough damage to significantly harm it before it can significantly harm us. Although it has just done quite a lot of damage there to our... oh, wow, that did absolutely nothing at all. Okay, so we did get a little bit of damage there. You guys don't want to get moving too close because you're already half dead. Should have maybe kept that unit on defensive. It's quite possible that unit is going to get wiped out now. But we do get another attack here. We did a fair bit of damage, although we did take some in return. In goes the shot from our hero. Does a nice amount of damage. In goes the shots from our marines. Does a little bit more. The final shot from our final marine. And we do actually get the kill. Did take a little bit of damage there. But that's fine. You guys have been wiped out. And the second mouse follow. Did we actually complete that? Oh, complete objective. Yes, as they say with mousetraps, it's often the second mouse that gets the cheese. So it looks like it's actually that other army that's roaming around that has it. So we'll take that out later. For the time being, we're going to go and try and get this other ruin over here. And we got 10 spices. Fantastic. So we'll let these guys heal up a little bit, and then we can go back over there and try and deal with that other one potentially. A new empire plan can be set up for the following turns. Now, if I was to set up a new empire plan, it's going to cost me 20 influence points, and I only have 36. So I probably should go for it. We could have 20% extra construction on construction cost reduction for building military units in cities, or we can have additional science, additional vision on units, or additional dust per population. I think at this point we're going to go for the science because it is what our empire is best suited at doing. So let's go ahead and do that. Did I not actually search these ruins that are in my own borders? Because if I didn't, that's absolutely stupid, and I really should go over there and do that. And in fact, you still have some movement left, so this is exactly what you are going to do. You're going to come over here and begin to search that ruin. Population-wise, we are still in the good, so I'm happy with that. Let's end the turn. Still haven't met any of the other factions yet. Although we have received a message from another empire. With noble empires such as yours, the future of Auriga is assured. So are they just being nice to us, or? I guess we could give them a compliment. It would cost us 3 of our influence points, but let's go ahead and do that anyway. Let's just make sure it's the right thing. Yep, compliment, declare. So they are moving a little bit closer towards us there. Let's get out of the diplomacy screen here. Let us start moving down into our own empire. Oh, hang on. Looks like we've got ourselves another ruins. There's quite a few we can pick up. And here's the green guy, so we've got a direct neighbour. Not too sure how fast you should be expanding here. Should I have a settler by now or not? I don't know the answer to that question. Received a message from another empire. Yep, we already know about them. We think we've dealt with that. Population has changed in one or more of our cities. Fantastic. So we've grown again. I think we're going to put one of you guys into food just to reduce the time it takes for this city to grow. Let's end the turn there. What was that just popped up? Okay, we've actually reached the second era now. Iron Tier 2 weapons and armour available for heroes and units. Newly trained units will now be veterans level 2 and cost more. Watchtower foundations revealed and Empire plan level 2 available. And we've now researched the sewer system. So do we actually research something here in level 2, or do we carry on with the era 1 stuff? I think I'd like to get a bit of a better unit. Look at that guy. That is the Titan. That guy looks absolutely badass. Let's get him queued up. We've got this thing here. This is a foundation where we can actually build a watchtower. So you'll see that lots of new resources and things have started to pop up on the maps now. Still going to be a little while before that is built there. We will get some of these watchtowers up and running where we can. In the meantime, let's do what we intended to do. First of all was to go over here and search these ruins. And we have got 50 dust. That is never a bad thing. We're going to go down to our own city and pop these ruins as well, because I forgot to do them before. And then we might have to go and pacify this village. We certainly need to think about getting a settler at some point and settling our second city. And in fact, that is probably something we should do here as quick as possible. We're actually going to cure per settler. It's going to be 6 turns before it is completed. Now, it's very, very, very expensive to build a settler, so we won't be able to actually do that on this turn. If we move someone from food to production, gets it down to 5 turns, but then we're actually stagnating and the city's not going to grow. Although it looks like you stagnate when you are building a settler anyway, which would make sense. So let's put all 3 workers into production, because, yeah. Modifiers is just because there's a settler in the queue. Yep, so you don't actually grow if you have a settler in the queue. So we'll put everybody into production, and that will make the settler produce even more quickly. Right, we've met another unit there as well, the 1st Iron Legion. So we've met someone playing the same faction as us, basically. It's our neighbour, the green guy. We are going to go over here and search this ruin as well. And we've got ourselves another quest here. Keeping the Empire secure includes paying attention to the tales of travellers and vagabonds. You hear of a place full of artifacts from ancient days, and you have heard it enough times that it may not be idle boasting or mindless babbling. The point on the map bears investigation. Within 5 turns, search for a relic at the temple ruins illuminated by rays of dust. We can hit show location. We can see right where it is. It is over there. May be difficult to get to it, though, with our neighbour being so close to us. Now, they shouldn't be able to attack us in our own territory, because that's the way Cold War works. When you are in a Cold War with somebody, you can attack each other in neutral territory, but in your own territory, you should be safe. That's unless they've changed it and I'm completely misinterpreting the rules, which is always a possibility. So, we're going to try and attempt to do that quest. And we have also met another minor faction, the Sisters of Mercy. They are over here. Obviously, they are within the green player's borders, and it looks like they've already been pacified. But we're desperately going to try and get to that to see if we can complete this quest. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Now, it should be like Endless Space. If we try and end the turn and we've forgotten to queue up a science or a research, it should tell us that we need to do that before we can continue on. So we're going to move across in this direction. We're very close. Not sure we can get it on this turn. In fact, we can. We're going to hit search. Search the ruins and unearth the secrets of the past. The place matches the descriptions right down to the eerie feelings. It's good that you brought shovels. And we've actually got the reward called Break Wall. And it is a one-handed shield, but it does cost 10 titanium, which we don't currently have. We do want to search those ruins, of course, and get whatever is in them, which is 70 dust, which is very, very nice. And then we want to try and get back into our own territory as soon as possible. So that is all we can do on this turn, and I think this video has gone on for long enough. In the next video, we'll try and assimilate this village if we can. We'll also get our settler out and decide which of the neighbouring regions we're going to settle. As you can already see from our neighbours, it looks like they have settled multiple regions, so we really definitely need to try and get out here and settle at least one of these two regions. But we'll have to see how that goes. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Endless Legend, and I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.